Okay. I have quite a bit of content online, but I haven't done much at all lately. But in case you don't know, I started a self help group a long time ago that is not successful by any means. I wrote two self help books a long time ago that aren't successful by any means. Um, but I'm someone who is, by almost every definition of the word, a complete outcast from society, even though I'm knee deep in it, living in Southern California and always living in the U.S. and being part of this culture. I'm also very left out of it in a lot of ways. The point of all that is just that ever since I was young, that's been the case. So my entire life, I've been really good at not social things, obviously, but understanding people because I've always looked from the outside in. Yes, I'm a person, but I'm not a person that was indoctrinated into anything that 99.99% of you, no matter where you live on the globe, were indoctrinated into. Whether that's religion, whether that's clubs, whether that's love of cars, whether that's greed and just being obsessed with money, whether that's materialism, being obsessed with things and just constantly needing things. I'm not a great human being by almost any stretch of the imagination either. Being an outcast and not being socially indoctrinated doesn't just make you a great person. That takes a lot of effort, even if you're not socially indoctrinated into pre-existing beliefs that aren't necessarily great for humanity. But anyway, with that being said, I do, beneficial or not, it's definitely beneficial through my own life. I definitely have an understanding of the way we work as human beings, and I have a perspective of our entire humanity that most people do not have because they're indoctrinated not to. They grow up thinking about, their friends and these social things that they have that I never had. One of those things that I understand is the most important one is that as human beings, we greatly limit ourselves because we just automatically, subconsciously seek out comfort. And there's so much indoctrination, there's so much social outside influence around us that it's so easy to find, especially in the US, whatever comforts you want, you know? That's everything from a car, your bed, accessories, your clothes, your food. That's absolutely everything that you have and do is a subconscious comfort. So I just want to make a quick video, hopefully, to continue. And this is what my books are about, and my self-help group. But I want to make a video to remind people, whether anybody sees this or not, that that's who we are as human beings, and that's why we're so limited to what we're capable of, and we're so shitty as a civilization. Yeah, it could be a lot worse, but we're really shitty, never progressing civilization for hundreds of thousands of years, or species, because of that. Because every individual just wants whatever makes them feel good at any given second and doesn't challenge that, because why would they? Doesn't challenge that to say, yeah, it feels good, it's comfortable, but does it matter? Does it do any good for the world? So that's literally the answer to why there's so much waste and pollution and ignorance and apathy and avoiding and greed and conceit and war and famine and starvation. All of that stuff is so easily solvable if enough people looked at themselves and said, obviously, if the right people did it, a few hundred people in power can change the world in seconds. A few thousand with a little less power could change it in a few days. A few million with far less power could change it in a few weeks. I firmly believe that, but what it takes is all of those individuals reevaluating their comfort and fighting consciously for what matters. Anyway, I think I've rambled enough, but this is something I repeat all the time, and like I said, it's what my books and Hug, the Human Understanding group that I started, are about, but it's something that cannot be reminded to people enough, and unfortunately there is no exterior influence other than me and maybe some other ones, very few, that remind us that we limit ourselves, and that's what matters. All right, adios.